What's going on, guys? Me again, William Blandon. I just want to do a quick story. I'm trying not to make this one long, about why I got started with Uber and Lyft and where we are now in the state of rideshare. Let's go back about a year and 3 months ago. I started my own business. I left retail. I was in a Bed Bath & Beyond for 10 years. Very unhappy. In 10 years, I went from $10 an hour to $16 an hour. I know most of you are thinking, yeah, that's freaking ridiculous. But that's typical, especially in Connecticut. I'm not saying that's every industry out here, but that was retail for me. As you can imagine, I'm in my 40s. I've had a string of retail stories that aren't much better. But that was my last retail job, my last job altogether. I started my own business. I was a little too excited because I managed to liquidate my first 401k for a customer. And the customer happened to be my brother, who wanted to go in business with me. We set up a corporation and I liquidated his 401k for about $60,000. But during this process, for reasons I don't want to discuss, my brother decided to quit his job. And he had a good job. He was working for Trader Joe's for less time than I was at Bed Bath & Beyond. He was at Trader Joe's for about 9 years. And in that time, he's gotten raises. He's gotten bonuses. He was at about, I think he just had got a raise when he quit. He was at about $26 an hour, 25, 26, somewhere around there. Trader Joe's is in the supermarket industry and they're doing better than most retail jobs. But it still was a job. And for whatever reason, he did some things he shouldn't have done, but he was there for 9 years. He decided to quit. But his 401k was so good that they matched every amount he put in, you know. So he had a very good 401k. Had he been there another few more years, he probably would have been up to 100,000. But when he left, he was at about 60,000. And as most of you know, you can't liquidate your entire 401k. You can only do a portion. But I work with the right people. And my main company, you can check out my main channel for more videos. If you're not seeing this video on that channel, Shania Business. And we were able to liquidate his entire 401k. All we had to do was set up a corporation. So we did that. We set up a corporation with me and him. I was the acting president. He was vice president. And we made a lot of mistakes. Number one mistake, never go into business without a source of income already coming in. That's my opinion. He had no income. He had a side gig that wasn't giving him a lot of work. He was doing a moving company with some friends of his, but they didn't work all the time. If they got a job, they worked 2-3 days and that was it. But they would make good money doing it. He would probably make maybe $1,000 in those 3 days, but he would not work again for maybe months. So he's not working. You can imagine $60,000 between two men ain't gonna go that far. I own my own business at this point, but I'm finding a client here and there, but I'm not making as much money as I should. Fast forward, the money lasted about 1.5 years, which is pretty good considering the only other source of income we had was my grandmother's Social Security. She had about $1,500 that was coming in from her Social Security that basically covered the rent. That's it. Didn't cover food or anything else. So we had that. He was splurging. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. He was buying Jordans and all types of clothes and flashy sunglasses and Mind you, he's not bringing in any money. He's spending out more than he's bringing in. So on average, he's dropping like, between me and him, we're dropping $2 to $3 grand a month on just clothes and food. You know, I wasn't buying a whole lot of clothes, but he was going crazy. I was spending money, but I was bringing in money. But mind you, I'm only bringing in, I was spending about as much as I was bringing in. So, but keep in mind, there's two people spending out the money. And we weren't on the books. We should have went on the books and paid taxes and had all that money, you know, where we could have got some income tax at the end of the year. We didn't do it that way. We're basically just putting money in an account and paying out our expenses. The company was basically paying out our expenses. Fast forward, again, he's spending money like crazy. It lasted 1.5 years. I'm surprised it lasted that long. We're at the end of the rope, at the end of the money. He decides that all his moving job money, he wasn't going to put back in the pot. He would take that money and just spend it on himself. So whatever he had to take care of, or whatever he wanted to spend it on, he wasn't putting it back in the pot. Meanwhile, all the money I brought in, I put it back in the pot. So this is where Uber and Lyft comes in. Uber and Lyft actually comes in, saves me, but I start getting smart, and I'll be like, I can't keep functioning like this. So I decided to shut the company down. The money basically gone at this point. He's blaming me for mismanagement of the money, even though he spent most of it. And we went our separate ways. Around this time, my grandmother dies. You know, she was 88 when she died. It was a very sad moment. I went into a little bit of a depression, just a little bit, because she was like my mother. She raised me. So it was a little bit depressing. Mind you, with her death, there goes the Social Security to cover the rent. So now we're out the Social Security to cover the rent. And we still move forward on doing what we got to do and go our separate ways. So fast forward, that's where I am today, driving for Uber and Lyft. And that was when Uber and Lyft was paying, they were only taking out 30%. Now it's 50, 60%. And I'm sitting here waiting on Trip to save me and save me in this market. I don't think that's going to happen. So going forward, I started doing Z-Tegrity, Z Black Card. It was my only other option. I started doing some side gigs, some side hustles, but Uber seemed the only one to make as much money. So that's where I am to this day. If you want more information on Trip or Z-Tegrity, there's a card, Z-Tegrity, Z Black Card. Check out my other videos. Subscribe, like, and comment. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.